Hi guys, I'm Aussie and I do year-round out-of-the-park baseball content. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications and all that stuff. Today we're going to be having a look at the new version of the game, Out-of-the-Park Baseball 24. So let's get things underway. Let's look at starting a new custom game here. And we can see that there is three versions of the game, or three options of the game you can play. So you can play like a real world, just a regular sort of way of playing through the game. You can have a fictional league, so you can set up whatever structure you want. And I'll show you actually, if you go to a quick start, there's different sort of suggestions for this. And then a historical league, and I think this is the epic thing about Out-of-the-Park Baseball. Any league, you can start from any season from 1871 to last year, and that is just amazing. I've never actually, but I should actually do it at some point, but yeah, I've never actually played it, but the fact that that's an option to me is just epic. Absolutely epic. So I'll have a look at the sort of the fictional leagues that you can play. And this is now, we've just gone to a quick start, so you can have the greatest of all time. You can see there, fans in baseball have often discussed it. And so you can have a quick start. You can have, there are 40 players for each team. So it's basically like an all-time fantasy team. And yeah, I mean, if you're a mad sort of hardcore baseball fan, that is pretty epic. You can play MLB 1994. So it's the strike shortened season. It starts August 12th. Up-to-date rosters and standings at the time, so you can kind of read that there for yourself. And now this is the one that I really like, and I'm probably tempted to play at some point, just from my sort of football or soccer background. 4-league, 96-team US-based promotion relegation league, so you can kind of take a team from the bottom all the way up to the top and try and win the World Series. That is, I think, something I'm going to have to try at some point. And the other quick start of the fictional leagues is the US Baseball League. So 24 teams and 5 levels of major leagues. It has 40 years of history and default settings for most rules and options. The game starts 2 days prior to spring training. This is a good starting point for new players to the game. So yeah, check these out. They're definitely nice little features. But yeah, I mean the promotion relegation one, I'm gonna have to try that at some point for sure. So this is the new game, and New York Mets are the team that I support in real life for the most part. A little bit of a Tigers fan as well, but you can see here it's been cleaned up a little bit. I'd say it's I don't like change, so I'll get used to it. The fact I don't hate it probably means it looks a little bit better. Team colours are there, which is nice and prominent as well. But yeah, for the most part here, we can see the initial screens are more or less the same. Team chemistry and then the settings as well. I'm not going to go through everything because it'll get a bit tedious, I think. But yeah, all these screens look very similar to what they did previously. You got the roster there, the injured list. And I noticed here that it's right up to date too, because Edwin Diaz is out essentially for the season. So, you know, that injury happened, what, a week ago in real life? Not even? Maybe a little bit more than that now, actually. So yeah, the injuries are right up to date, which is always good to see. You can see all your minor league players system here, in the system I should say. And I do like that you can if you did done it in previous editions, as well as be able to sort of search by potential and current ability, because really in the farm system you're more interested in potential than current ability for the most part. Obviously when they get the AAA you're waiting to see if they're ready to come up, but yeah, so I do like that you can still do that. Waivers, if you've got any players on waivers, they'll show up here, the upcoming free agents. Now this is a little bit different to how it used to look, I think. You can see we've got all players here, but yeah, I can't remember what it looked like out of the Park 23 now, but this just looks a little bit better to me. So I don't know if they have actually played around with that. The international complex, now I am fairly sure that you couldn't see this previously. There's not much potential in there, but I do like this because I used to, you get your scouting discoveries. If you're new to the game, your scout will find scouting discoveries. Now that's actually been changed, I think, a little bit as well for this version. Then they go to the international complex and you wouldn't really see them because they're young, sort of 16, 17, 18, and you wouldn't really see them until they were 19 and got promoted into rookie ball. So I like that you can at least more easily anyway see you can see the players that are coming through the international system there as well, which is good. And transaction log, of course, where you would find any changes that have been made. The pitching, now I've got this set right now because we're just going to play one game, a quick game, to see how it looks. So I've just got the manager looking after everything, and yeah, so you can see all there, that all looks fairly similar. Now, if this is the default view, if you do want to have a look at pitching stats, you'd go over here, go down to pitching 1, pitching 2, and this is sort of the view that more typically anyway I tend to use. So that's their lineups, you got the same thing. I don't know if the default was an option. It probably was, and I just always had it to this one, but I do like that you can sort of see a good way to sort of see, you know, star ratings, more so salary, years left. It's a good way for squad building, I think. So yeah, that is all very, very good. Geographical depth chart and all that sort of stuff is there as well. You've got your strategy. Now the strategy screen, not so much the overall strategy, that it does look quite similar, albeit maybe slightly laid out differently. But the player strategy, it's a drop and drag now, which is, I think, a little bit how it was before, but it's to the side. I think it was to the bottom before. I always think the easier way to do this is if you go into a player and just hit strategy, and I just find that a little bit more easy to sort of navigate my way through. But yeah, you got the double option there. Front office, again, it's laid out differently, but it's more or less the same sort of information, so it is just presented a little bit neater, I think. So that's all good. You've got your ownership information. Now again, I think a lot of this stuff was previously on the finances screen, wasn't it? So yeah, maybe it's all a little bit different to how it was on previous editions. The accounting is there, which I never look at. I probably should. I never look at it. Salaries, that looks roughly the same as the old one. And then you've got your player development screen, and you got your personnel, so all your coaches all the way down through the system. And not many Australian coaches there. We'll need to change that. And the staff roles as well. And of course you can set who's coaching what over here as well. And the cohesion all looks pretty good. It's something I've always struggled a little bit with is getting the staff cohesion right, I think. But yeah, well, anyway, the game's done it okay for me here so far, haven't they? Scouting. Now this has changed a little bit, I understand, from the last one. So you've got your scouting, which is roughly the same. You can scout for each position and all sort of the different variables that you want there as well. The task list, I'm assuming that is going to be the tasks that are, you've assigned there in scouting, who's scouting when and where. Recently scouted players, again, we can see it's going to be probably a lot of who are we playing first? Miami, isn't it? So a lot of Miami players. But we can see everybody there. And international, this is where it has changed. So the international amateurs, where before you just sort of pick one, throw $5 million at them, and they either sign for you or they wouldn't. Now you can invite players in. Now there's no one here as of yet. You can see up here it says they're coming in on the 17th of October, so the end of the season. But from what I understand is that you invite certain international amateurs in, you get a look at them, you can scout them better, you can build a relationship with them, and so in theory you could sign more than one. You will still have the budget, of course, to be able to do that, but yeah, so it's in theory this is going to work a little bit more realistically perhaps than just throwing, I say, $5 million at a guy and hoping that he signs for you. The schedule, the schedule screens, you can only do so much with it, can't you? And the information here, the other info, that again is all relatively the same as it looks as though it has been in previous editions. But of course the one thing that can make or break a game like this is how does the game look. So far I've got to say, not huge changes. I think things like the scouting will change as you go, as you play through the seasons. You'll notice that a little bit more. But the day-to-day game, we've got opening day against Miami. Let's see how it looks there. So we've got the pre-game screen here, which does look kind of familiar. Now, I do let the AI do this because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to baseball. So we will just let the AI take care of that for me. And yeah, so this all looks relatively similar, I'd say, to previous editions. Again, you can only change this so much, can't you? But let's have a look at the game itself. Okay, so here we go. This is how the game looks. Again, so far you'd say fairly similar. Whoa, this is different. We've got the camera setting where we can move. We're going in for the first pitch behind home plate. This is how I usually have it set up. Now I have left ball tracking and things on. I found in the past it's made me a little bit almost like motion sickness as we've been hit there. Yeah, I think personally I prefer the static cameras. Now this is very much going to be a personal choice, but we'll kind of see how we go here. And not even close. Wow. Jeff McNeil. I'm assuming he got hit in the ankle. He was hobbling along there because that was not good. And are we going to end in disgrace here? No, up the middle. And yeah, I've decided I don't like the moving cameras. That is very much, as I say, just a me thing. Now, if you do want to change things, you go to View up here, and you can see Initial Camera, Pitch Camera, and Action Camera. So Dynamic Action Camera, I'm assuming, is what makes it move, so we'll turn that off. Now, if you do want to move these things around, you can see I've moved it to get above my head. The way you do that is it'll initially have automatically set up widgets, so you would just untick that and then you can move things around as you please. So yeah, that is how we do all of that. So we've got two out, runner at first, and we've still got ball tracking on, I assume. That's why it's done that. runner will go over to third, will they? It looks like, and yeah, that'll end that play. If we can just get rid of ball tracking, please, game, because yeah, another thing that is going to make me look a little bit seasick here in a minute. Now, if you're looking for how to change these sorts of things in-game, if you go to, is it options and game options, it'll bring up this screen, and then you can sort of play around with everything as well. So another good thing about this game is that everything is really, really highly customizable. So yeah, that's all there if you if you want to change around with things. And like I say, what will happen is you'll find out how you like to play and what you want to happen, and yeah, you can just test and go each batter or each pitch, however you want to play it. And yeah, see how you go. So big Justin Verlander on the mound, and that is a catch out there in left field. And yeah, we'll just play a couple of innings here and get a feel for the game. And yeah, see how we do. So he not touched the base there. Oh, he did. Okay, just running out the play. Now, one thing that a couple of things I should go through while we're having a quick look at this. There's currently a poll, if you're watching relatively new to the publish of the video, on the community tab as to who we start playing with on our big save during this this game. So if I narrowed it down, I did ask for a lot of questions on the Discord. There's a link to that down in the description as well. We've narrowed it down to the Cubs, the Giants, and the Brewers. So one of those three, go and vote, and yeah, that's who we'll play at, whichever team gets the most. Before that, I've got a little experiment that I want to do to see what would happen if we had an all-Canadian Toronto Blue Jays. If you've ever watched Canadian coverage of the Jays, they are very much promoted as Canada's team. Now, I've done this in the past, trying to win with an All-American Yankees, which failed miserably. I've also tried to win the Champions League in the Football Manager with an All-English Manchester United team, which was a little bit more successful. And we're currently in F1 Manager playing as Haas, trying to get All-American drivers, and that is also failing miserably. But I just wondered, if they're Canada's team, if we have a team full of Canadians, how would they do? Yeah, so we'll start things off with that and just see see how that goes while we decide who we want to do as. Oh, and that's a terrible drop out there in centre field. And you wouldn't have got that from Brendan Nimmo, that's for sure. Good old treadmill. He will be missed, as that is hit out there into left field, and the Marlins are going to take a second inning lead here. So there we go. That is not the start that Verlander would have wanted, though it won't be an earned run against him, will it? So I do wonder a little bit as a pitcher if you just kind of like, well, that's not my fault. I can't do much if the Muppet in centre field can't catch a ball. Oh, there was a good bounce on that. Did you notice that? That's different. The dynamic of that, how that looked, is improved. So yeah, there's definitely tweaks to improve the game, isn't there? But there we go. That is a couple of innings of how the game looks. Now, if you do want to, you're getting smashed, or you for whatever reason you don't want to skip ahead, or you don't want to play pitch by or play bat by bat, you can do pitch by pitch as well. And it brings up different options. I don't know if I messed that up now, but you can sim ahead. You can quick play until runner in scoring position, which is it not now? Maybe it's after this batter because he's already at the plate. We'll see what happens here as there's a running catch. So can I not, until runner in scoring position, quick play? Is it not letting... it's doing the whole inning, is it? Okay. And now there's a runner in scoring position, so we come back and we do sort of more play-by-play stuff. So that's one option that you have. The other option is that you can sim an entire inning, or a half inning, I should say, so top-bottom. Or you can just go to whatever inning it is you want to go to, or you can just sim the entire game. And let's see if we could have a comeback here. And it was a 4-2 loss on opening day. We did get 2 runs back in the 9th. So there we go. That is Out of the Park Baseball 24. I am excited for this one, as I always am with Out of the Park games. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And if you want to see how an All-Canadian Jays would go, well, come and join me here right now.